Okay, before we start answering questions, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys for 300 subs. I know it's insignificant to some people, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's wild to think about 300 people just sitting in a room listening to what you're saying. But in order to ensure that this video is not horrendously long, let's just jump into questions. And our first one is from Pokesel. We know Pokesel. And it's, have you ever dreamed of me? Yeah, I've had nightmares before, yes. Our next question is from Antonio, and it says, because I'm a Bleach fan, obviously I'll ask a Bleach question, since I know you read it. I will ask your 5 favorite Zompoc toes. I can't say I've ever really thought about a list of, like, my 5 favorite, so I don't know off the top of my head, but I guess I'll just name the ones that I really like. That would be Yamamoto's, and I don't remember all the names of them. I think Yamamoto's is Ryujin Jaka, Byakuya's, Renji's, Shunsui's, Aizen's, and then Urahara's. That was 6, but I like those 6. Our next question, once again from Antonio, says, what made you start watching anime and what made you start making videos about it? What made me start watching anime was when I was a kid, I used to stay up late whenever I could and watch Adult Swim because I liked Robot Chicken when I was a kid because I was an idiot. And occasionally they would play Bleach. And so that was my first real taste of anime. And then what got me interested in it, like for real, was way back in the day when Netflix was still very, very much a new thing. I had to house sit for our neighbors and they had Netflix and I had never used it before. And I was watching movies on Netflix and then all of a sudden Netflix recommended Rosario Vampire to me and I watched that. And then I was like, maybe there is something to this anime thing, I'll look into it. And what made me start making videos about it was, I mean, I've always liked editing, I've always liked making videos, and I'm just an incredibly lazy person by nature. So basically I saw an anime that was so bad I couldn't stay silent about it. I had to talk about it, and that was, I believe, Isekai Cheat Magician. And I made that video and then just kept going for some reason. Now Antonio's asking, what are some character tropes that you like specifically in anime? Well, without a doubt, my favorite is sort of the cold, calculating genius type. But I'm also a really big fan of like the smart psychopath like Hisoka or Light. In fact, I would say that that's probably my favorite character trope. I'm also a big fan of like guys who are cocky and just because they're built different, like Adam from Kengan Ashura. Okay, next question. Do you prefer anime or live action? Why or why not? If you mean like live action manga movies, so like the live action Bleach movie, then I absolutely prefer anime. If you mean do I prefer anime over like TV shows and movies, I wouldn't say so. I think they hit a different thing for me. Like, I would never watch a movie instead of watching anime. Like, they're just two different things. I don't know. So, I prefer live action, or I prefer animated over live action manga adaptations, but I don't like anime more than, like, Western movies. And I don't mean, like, the Western genre. I mean, like, Hollywood-produced movies. Okay, what is your favorite fictional character and why? Fuck. I have literally never thought of that. Maybe John Constantine, because I like that he deals with the supernatural and he's always suave as hell. Maybe Lucifer from the show Lucifer, because he does the same thing. I like SquidTheCynic because he wears a suit and can use magic. Or maybe Blade. Maybe Leonardo the Ninja Turtle. I don't know. I've never really picked a favorite fictional character before. But though, I mean, I do like SquidTheCynic a lot. So maybe him, because he's suave as hell and he's always stays cool. And is also a skeleton. Next up, a question from Gracie, the queen of anime Twitter simps herself, asks, what anime character do you relate to the most? I don't typically relate a lot to anime characters. They're so different. I don't know, maybe Killua. We had I feel like Killua from Hunter x Hunter, he had a pretty similar childhood to me. Maybe Warwick from Gangsta. I don't know, probably one of those two. Okay, Antonio's back again with, what is your motivation in life? I don't really have any, honestly. I don't have any goals. I don't have anything like that I want to do at all. I guess my main motivation is to eventually die. Oh boy. Okay. So name your top 10 anime abilities. So that is, first of all, not a question. and is also what? Are you kidding me? Do you know how many anime I've seen? That's an insanely hard question. Maybe great old one, Lovecraft's power from Stray Dogs. Maybe Kanzen Simon or whatever it's called, Aizen's power. Vector manipulation's pretty cool. That's Accelerator's power. Overhaul. Reiner's Alpha Stigma, his like weird fake Alpha Stigma is pretty cool. I don't know. That's too hard of a question. I can't name 10 anime abilities even off the top of my head, dude. Next up, we have a question from RTL Faith, my co-host and the champion of Black Clover, which is name your top 10 anime, which again is not a question. I mean, there was only one requirement for that, and that was ask a question, and you messed it up. But I suppose I'm obligated to now name my 10 anime. Again, this is something I've never really done. I've never ranked 10 anime, like my top 10. So this list might be subject to change. It's just off the top of my head, but I suppose it would be Gangsta, Hellsing Ultimate, Hunter x Hunter, Drifters, Jormungand, Hajime no Ippo, Tanya the Evil, Welcome to the Ballroom, maybe Stray Dogs, and then Bakano? I don't know, was that 10? I think that was 10. Okay, now we have a question from OPelescent, booktuber and writer extraordinary. If you guys haven't checked out OPelescent, you definitely should. And it's, if you could send your haters/enemies to any anime world, which would you choose? Also, any non-anime TV shows you're enjoying recently. If I could send my haters or enemies to any anime world, probably some isekai world where they could live the dream and level up and use magic and have fun, because, you know, they may be my enemies, but I still wish that someone could live out that fantasy life. Also, I don't really wish ill on people who hate me. I mean, there's too many of them at this point. I feel like if I like transported all my haters to a horrible world where they would die, like Attack on Titan, I mean, we're talking half the world's population would die. Also, any non-anime TV shows you're enjoying recently. Yeah, I've been rewatching Hannibal. I've been rewatching Lucifer. I've been watching Kingdom, which is either I think it's Korean or Japanese. It might be Japanese. And I've been trying to get into Westworld, but man, I just do not like it so far. Okay, now we have a question from an actual real-life anime villain, Dr. Mr. Cat, which is, if I was looking at your house from the door, which side would your window be on? Well, if you were at the front door, it would be it would be to your left. It would be on that same wall, kind of. And if you were at the back door, I mean, it would be, I don't know, the opposite side somewhere. I'm not super sure. If a window in your room broke and you had to fix it, what size ladder would you need to repair the window? Well, Yoda, so if you're a real man like me and you're not short, maybe you wouldn't need a ladder. But a normal man, maybe he would need like a 6-foot ladder. All right, Drew, aka What If Universe, asks, how did you get hated? I think it was just from being stubborn, honestly. I think I could have really negated a lot of hate by just not doubling down and being like, okay, guys, my bad. Because I had some unpopular opinions, or I still do, and I've never been afraid to share them, because I think talking about them is good and helps things improve when you criticize them, but, you know, most people don't like that. So really just the fact that I kept doubling down and being like, nah, fuck you guys, I think that's why. Also, I just think when you're in the presence of greatness, lesser beings get intimidated easily. Oh man, Antagonist back with, what does your breath smell like in the morning? Well, I sleep with an entire tube of toothpaste in my mouth at night, so it smells like mint, spearmint. Favorite hentai? Without a doubt, Masterpiece. It's right there in the name. It is a masterpiece. So, there you go. I can't link it in the description, but you can Google it. Okay, Daniel Kime, DK, a bunch of D's and K's, asks, how would you differentiate anime from comic books/cartoons? Well, anime from comic books are books, and anime is like animated video. I think the main difference is place of origin. I mean, anime is like a Japanese thing. And also, really the biggest difference between something like Avatar The Last Airbender or like Ben 10, Generator Rex, and like a shonen anime is just the subject matter they're willing to cover. There are things that are considered totally tame and whatever in anime that no Western cartoon would ever touch. things like rape or like seeing a beheading or drugs, like those usually aren't ever talked about in Western cartoons because cartoons are usually geared towards young people. But in Japan, I guess young people just go hard as hell because even anime meant for young people is, I mean, light years scarier than cartoons meant for young people. Digital Girl 2221 asks, if you could get to live in any world or universe, would you make a video on which ones that you could potentially survive in? I mean, I think that would be kind of a boring video because I think at the end of the day, most worlds you could survive in, because you could make the really boring argument of like, well, for the most part, Bleach is just like, you would just be a normal person in Bleach. You wouldn't even know that Aizen is like running around trying to overthrow the Soul King. But I think I would do fairly well in most worlds. You know, I'm like I have like mental strength. I don't know. I'm usually pretty cool in like scary situations, so I feel like I could survive in any world. I could probably kill a Titan with my bare hands. How come they only make like one season of an anime and then it disappears and they don't make any more, and you then find that anime a couple years after it was made and are sad and they name it Gansta? Well, that was quite a question. I think so. The reason they usually just make one season of an anime, or that's very common, is because Japan has a very fucked view of things compared to us. Japan basically views anime as advertisement for the manga, and so in their eyes, making only one season is actually a good thing, because what they want you to do in their perfect world, what you would do is like whatever anime Gansta is, you would watch it, and then that would work as like an advertisement for the manga, and then you'd go buy the manga. It's actually very rare for anime to get, or for a manga to get like a complete anime adaptation. Oh boy, we got like a rapid fire. Okay. Favorite actor, Jared Leto. Favorite rapper, Anakin Skywalker. Favorite band, 8 Graves. Favorite food, French fries. What are your thoughts on other webcomic sites and apps other than Webtoon, like for example Tumblr, Comic Rocket, etc.? Well, Tumblr, I think Tumblr needs to be burned from the annals of history, but I've used other webcomic apps before and sites. I think it's great. I think more competition equals more good. So the more the merrier. And I think while they're not always great and the quality control is not usually there, I am glad that they exist for nothing else other than making competition so that no company has a monopoly. Have you seen The Quiet Place? Do you mean A Quiet Place? Is that the one with Sandra No, that's Bird Box. Oh, that's the one with Jim from The Office and his wife. Yeah, I saw that movie. I was not a big fan. There was so much shit in it that made no sense to me because like these aliens take over the world like almost immediately, but then in the same movie they show Emily Blunt just killing one with like one shotgun shell. So if they were able to be taken down by something as low impact as a shotgun, there's no way that these aliens would have ever overrun even like local police, let alone like the National Guard or the actual military. But I think there's a second one now, and I haven't seen that one, so maybe they retcon it and explain that shit. Have you played the Blair Witch game? No, I have not. I've never even seen the Blair Witch movie. Oh, Ura or Ura with the, what is that? That's Helper, right? In that profile picture. What is your favorite manga? Without a doubt, Hell's Paradise it's a fucking masterpiece. It is mind-blowingly good. Highly recommend you go watch it if you have not. What is your favorite genre of anime? I would say on average, probably seinen. That seems to be like where a lot of my favorites fall, like Drifters, Hellsing Ultimate, Gangsta, Jormungand, Tanya the Evil, Bakano. But I'm a big fan of isekai. Isekai is one of those things that it's just satisfying in its simplicity. But seinen usually has my favorites. You like jazz? I do actually. I find it very soothing after I've railed a line of Adderall and I'm driving on some back road at 100 miles an hour at 3 a.m. I like a nice smooth jazz to keep me calm. And our final question from Twitter, why the 7th most hated? I'm not big enough yet to have climbed the rankings. So We'll get there one day. We'll be the most hated one day if we all work together. Okay, it actually seems like that was it. I thought I saw a few questions on YouTube, but I literally just went and looked and there wasn't any, and I didn't get any through Discord, so thankfully for me, this video was super easy to make. I only had to look at Twitter. Once again, though, thank you guys so much for 300 subs. I almost said 3,000 subs. Thank you so much for 300 subs. I'm sorry that this wasn't like an amazing video, but I don't know why I wanted to do this. I just did, and let's just say I've got a God of High School video in the works.